Hello again, this is Landon Bellum with Remax Professionals with another episode of the Colorado Realty TV Podcast. Today we're going to be talking all about staging, the ins and outs, why you should stage, the benefits, and a ton more. And we've got some awesome guests on today from Sterling Staging and Design. Is that the company name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do I pronounce it? Is it Trina or Triana?
Trina. Trina.
Okay.
Mhm.
And Hannah.
Yeah.
Why don't you both tell us a little bit about yourselves, your experience in staging and the business and everything?
So I studied interior design at Academy of Art in San Francisco. I found Trina early this year and started my staging career. I'm loving it so far. The design side and then doing the staging as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Hannah's selling herself short. She's an absolute
Yeah.
rock star. She just has such a natural ability. You just can't. I always like to say with staging, it's hands-on interior design. So if you want to learn if you have the vision or not, staging is really the best way to do it. Because it's quick. It's in the moment. You got to just see it and know. And she's phenomenal at that.
Nice.
Thank you. She's
Thank
selling
you.
herself short. I'm Trina. I have owned and founded Sterling Staging since 2023, I think. 2022?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is time?
Yeah.
And I've always had an interest in staging and in homes, and I am really good at it.
Nice.
And so,
And you are.
oh, well,
Yes,
thanks.
you are. Yes. So you founded the business. It's only a few years old then.
That's right.
Did you have any staging experience before you started your own business, or did you kind of just jump in?
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of both. So I also am a realtor, and so I on my own listing for about the year that I was in real estate before I took over the staging company and kind of burned it all down and then rebuilt it.
Yeah.
I would stage light stage, I would say. Staging light. Because the stager that my real estate team had been using, everything was approximately 25 to 30 years old.
Yeah.
And it was really not the
That doesn't-
aesthetic that we were aiming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I
Wow.
would, on every listing, I'd be like, please burn these throw pillows and put something else in here. And so it kind of started that way. And then I had this habit of moving every 2 years for my own house.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
finally,
I kind of do the same.
Uh-huh.
Filters, right?
That's right. It's
Yeah.
the real estate thing. But then also I like to say I would accidentally flip every house that we moved into. And then I'd be out of projects and be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Next
Time
one.
for
time
something.
Yeah.
And my husband, when we had our second child, was like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done with the moving.
Mhm.
So find another outlet.
Yeah.
And I said,
Nice. Okay, so you started to probably accumulate your own furniture. You
Correct.
started to stage your own listings.
Correct.
Other listings of your teammates, perhaps. And
at our
then
brokerage. Yep.
the ball started to get rolling, I assume.
That's right. And then the very sweet woman who had her staging company was wanting to retire.
Got it.
And we sat down for lunch one day in August. And 2 weeks later, she was like, please take it.
Nice.
I don't want to do it anymore. Take it. And so about 6 40-yard dumpsters later,
Oh, wow.
it was a very quick on-ramp.
So you cleaned out all of the inventory she had
That's right.
and built up your own.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounded like that was a few decades overdue. So,
Love that. Love that. That tracks. Yeah.
wow. And Hannah, so you have background in interior design. Sounds like that's what you studied. Is this kind of did you get into staging with this, or did you do anything with staging before?
Yeah, I kind of had dabbled in staging a little bit here and there.
That's also not true. She would basically going to get a storage unit
Yeah.
and not dabbled. She had a cachet of
Okay.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
I was ready to do it.
she was ready.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. I had been introduced to staging. I was like, this is a lot of fun.
Yep.
And she's good at it.
and I'm good at it. It's something that I really enjoy.
Nice.
They say like take what you love and then you do what you love and you never have to work a day in your life.
Right.
And right. Like there's
That's what they say. It doesn't mean it's true.
To it
Yeah.
is, I genuinely enjoy doing this. Of course, some days are better than others.
Yeah.
But I was ready to kind of do my own thing, and I was actually bartending at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my manager at the restaurant was like, "Hey, I have a friend who really needs like someone to kind of run her staging company.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking for someone right now." And I was like, "That's amazing."
Nice.
And it was honestly one of those things where everything, that's how we
Wow.
connected. Everything kind of fell into place.
That really did, didn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So that's kind of the brief background then on you two and the company and Sterling and all of that. So, well, let's go ahead and just start to dive into what I say the meat of the podcast. But before we do that, I always do a segment called the Houses of Horrors segment. And that's just where we talk about the nightmare scenarios or situations we've been in the industry. So the teaser that I'll give for mine is that I had a seller who basically, without any staging experience, thought that she was a staging expert. And we burned through a couple different companies. And then that's actually how we first connected.
That's right.
And even that she didn't read the contract, and we'll get into it. So it corrupt. She had lots of So that's what I believe you two have a couple of stories. You want to give a little highlight to them so that we can tease it?
I think Hannah. And 2 words.
I think so.
Cat pee.
Cat pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's,
I think that sums it up. Just
ugh.
nasty.
Yeah, that does. I am very excited to hear that, actually.
It's wild.
Yeah. And what about you, Trina?
I think I'm going to go with, there's quite a few. As people are going to people, which is one of my favorite thing to everybody in the company, which is like, you can't make everybody happy.
True.
But I think mine is going to be about blowout tires.
There you go. Yeah. That doesn't sound fun when you're hauling a ton of furniture along the highway. So, okay. Well, we'll get into those towards the end of the podcast, but let's just break it down. Why? Why does staging matter? Why is this important? Why are we even here talking about this? Why do you even have this company? Why does it matter? Why is this important for sellers to do?
I'll take a first stab and then Hannah can fill in. I truly think that if you have a vacant listing and you are not staging it, you're not doing your job as an agent, to be very blunt. Because all you're doing is selling your seller short.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do not have the vision to walk into an empty home and see it. Being their kids playing in the living room, them sitting down and watching TV, them in the office working, their kids in their bedrooms hanging out and sleeping. Like, they just cannot envision it. A lot of people. And so if your goal as a real estate agent is to expand your pool of buyers as broad as possible, staging has to be on that list. Yes, minor repairs. Yes, small design changes. All of that stuff is obviously important, and I believe in those things too. But if someone's walking into a blank slate, I am of the opinion that it doesn't matter how pretty your blank slate is, even if you've renovated the whole thing. If there is not a stick of furniture in there, it's going to sit on the market longer. Going to get less offers, less activity, etc. And then, the other piece of it is virtual staging. Because I'm sure that that's going to get asked.
Yes, it is. It's on the list.
That's right. So not to steal the thunder, but I view virtual staging as a little bit of a lie. And you are really setting you're setting your sellers up for a letdown, the buyers. And so the way that I view it is, if I see photos online, everybody hangs out on Redfin and just house stocks. I mean, that's what we do for fun. Because we're
all the time
house nerds.
Totally. Yeah.
when you see a photo and you're like, oh, that looks cute.
Uh-huh.
And then you walk your happy little feet in there and it's actually empty.
Yep.
Yeah.
You still have the same problem
Let down.
of, yes, one, it's like, wait,
Mhm.
the pictures don't match what's actually in the house.
Mhm.
That's weird and
Mhm.
off-putting. And two, they still can't see it.
Yep.
They cannot superimpose the virtual photo that you put online with what they're seeing in person.
Yep.
And so obviously the reason that I have this company is because I believe in staging, but I've also just seen it work. The cat key story that Hannah will get into, we're really teasing that.
Uh-huh.
It's real good.
It's a good one.
That listing, we came in and did a bunch of like handyman work, some design
Mhm.
work. I mean, Hannah and I were there tiling, etc.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It was a lot.
It's a lot. That house, the before and afters,
Yeah.
that was really the biggest, like, this is not the nicest house we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
It is the one, I think, to this day, shows the true power of staging.
Wow. Yeah.
The before and afters are insane.
Wow.
And I think that's kind of a common misconception is that, staging a multi-million-dollar house. Yeah, of course you want to do that. But staging is also we do condos.
Yeah.
We do, those houses that are under 500,000.
Pieces of crap.
Pieces of crap.
Quite frankly, yeah.
That's almost where you need it more.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of times, especially with older homes, you have these kind of odd nooks and crannies that if it's empty, buyers are going to walk in there and they're
What
going to
the
be
heck do I
like,
do
what
with
do
that?"
I do with this space? And so that's a big part of our job is when we do that walkthrough, we're looking for things like that specifically that other people are going to have a really hard time imagining.
Totally. And just to touch on that, I 100% agree. I work with buyers all the time. This
Yeah.
year, my business has been 50-50 split almost perfectly, sellers and buyers.
Yeah.
And it is very true. Buyers, they lack vision. They lack the ability to place themselves, their furniture, their family, their life situation in an empty house.
Mhm.
Right.
And so what's going to happen is if I'm out there as a buyer's agent showing 5 homes in an afternoon and 2 of them are vacant and 3 of them are staged, I can promise you that the 3 that were staged are going to, for some reason, they won't understand, but subconsciously they're going to
right.
stick.
Yep.
And because they were able to feel themselves in the home because of the furniture. So
right.
just tagging on to what you said, it's
Yeah.
totally real.
100%, Landon. And I think it's important to note that while buying a home is typically most people's biggest investment they're ever going to make in their
Yeah.
life, it is also equally an emotional investment.
Yes.
And if you are not speaking to buyers' emotions, and I think the hugest way to do that is through staging
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some smudging, some energy clearing, some woo stuff. Also,
Sometimes you got
I like
to.
the blue stuff.
cat bee house.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not speaking to their emotions, and just as you were saying, through the vision, again, in this market where we are seeing listings sitting longer, we're not seeing the
Yep.
bidding wars stuff typically. We are competing against 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 20
Yep.
other identical houses, especially out in places like Parker,
Yep.
where
Castle
there's
Rock, Crystal
Castle
Valley.
Rock. That's right.
I
Beach
just sent an
Ridge.
email last night to a seller of mine who I just said, hey, just so you know, here is the active competition. And within, 1 mile radius, there's 11 active homes right now,
Yeah.
all within a similar price point,
That's
all
right.
within a similar square
Vintage.
footage, all within a few years old. So they're virtually the same floor plan.
That's
So
right.
you're almost competing more against the active, you need to price more against the active competition than typically in other markets where you price more against the comps,
That's
the
right.
sold
Yeah.
competition or the sold homes. So
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And you can't use comps
Yep.
right now in the way that we've used them in the past, because what it sold for a year ago has almost zero bearing on what it's going to sell now.
So
The
true.
market has just shifted
so true.
so rapidly. And so, again, because we approach staging with very clear goals in mind,
Mhm.
I think that really is the differentiator
Yeah.
between us and other staging companies, but also in like who we work with.
Yeah.
because we're not in the business of convincing people really of the value. I think that the before and afters, and just when you get those photos and you're like, I mean, we get texts a lot from sellers and agents that are like emotional because they just think, oh, I never thought that my house could look like this. I should have done this years ago.
When I lived in it, before I'm selling it.
Yeah.
I get that all the time too, just not only with staging, but with renovations that I recommend beforehand, getting the carpet out of the master bathroom. And they're like, wow, I should have done that 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's it's one of my favorite parts of the job is seeing the before and after and being like, wow, we did that. That's pretty cool.
Look how amazing.
It
Look at the
looks really
total
good.
vibe change
Yeah.
of this whole.
Yeah, it looks like a completely different house. I've heard that. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, a couple, just kind of wrapping this up on the why staging matters. I pulled some stats, and I mean, you could go out there and just do a very general search for the stats behind staging a home and if it's effective or not. Very difficult to find any sites out there that do not show any benefits or negatives to staging. Here are a few that I pulled, and I can put the sources in the description below, but some sites and some stats are saying that staging a home sells the home 73% faster, can boost the home price by 1 to 10%, and some stats even show that up to 23% more value in the home when you sell it. The ROI, so the return on the investment, so how much money you spend on the staging versus how much money you get back, can be up to 550% more. Yeah, you spend a few thousand on staging, and then you get 10, 15, whatever thousand more for the home. Like, that's a big investment that you get on that returns, or a big return on that investment, rather. Buyers can visualize the property and themselves in it, 77% better, 40% more clicks online, which transition into showings. I mean, ultimately, this is what I've been telling my sellers. And when I'm going in a listing appointment to try to earn that business, I say, hey, the more views that you get, the more saves. The more saves that you get, the more potential you have for showings. The more showings that you get, the more potential for offers. The more offers, the more money.
That's right.
Staging makes the presentation online better, more views, saves, boom, 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 and it goes down the line. And then at the end of the day, more money. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so I do want to acknowledge, of course, especially when we're talking about that like 500,000 and under. I understand $1 million, because again, this is a people business. And so I understand as a seller, you're thinking, I'm listing my house for 400,000. You want me to spend $2,000 to put someone else's furniture in it?
Yeah.
That seems crazy. I understand that mentality. However, if your goal, you have to backwards plan from your goal. If your goal is to sell your home for the most money possible and as quickly as possible, and to stand out from your competition, I truly, truly cannot recommend enough. Have us come in and tell you, this has got to be staged. And here's exactly what we would do. And the other thing I was going to say is when we talk about the emotional piece with buyers and the investment and the stats, when buyers are out seeing 15 to 20 homes in a day, as we know they're doing because they can, because
there's enough out there.
There's a billion for sale in their little
inventory's high, and they've got the time. There's no rush because there's not that many buyers.
The buyers sitting on the bench is a real thing. And so if they're out seeing 15 homes and you see 3 in Parker, as you were saying, identical floor plans, identical finishes, no one's painted a damn thing, and 3 of them or 2 of them are vacant and 1 is staged, when they get in the car after those 3 showings where they could just walk to the ones next to each other, what's going to stick in their mind? It's the one where they're like, oh, I really like that couch in there. Oh, yeah. Did you see that light fixture in the dining room on that one? Oh, that one was really cool. What about, the one with the blue wall? Yeah, that was good. So even if it's one thing to have your listing stand out.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's the one that sticks in the buyer's mind. And so when you talk about return on investment, like, sure, it can be hard to measure and sort of get accurate statistics on that stuff. It's really anecdotal evidence, but it also requires tapping into the mindset of a buyer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
What are your thoughts?
It's really about the buyer psychology with that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Got to tap into that.
No, 100%. We say that all the time, is helping to make a house memorable,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not even just the furniture that we're putting in there or the decor,
Yep.
but like you were saying, the light fixture, something that might get overlooked with an empty house. We specifically design things so that it accentuates the best parts of that home, so that they remember, so that it's memorable and
Totally.
it stands out to the other ones that are all in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
you have to do it. You have to do it right now in a market like this where the tiniest little things make the difference to get you the buyer, where the buyer could go to one of the other 5 other listings down the street. So, well, tell me about the process. So let's say an hour from now, I have a new seller that is gearing up to list their home on the market, and I set up a group chat with us. And I say, okay, what's next? Like, here's the seller. We need to stage this. What's the next steps?
So typically what we do is, if there are accurate and good or decent either floor plans or former listing photos online, a lot of times, because again, we, like just this year, we staged over 100 houses.
Oh,
So
wow.
we understand, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it doesn't require us to go in person.
Nice.
And so we will say, okay, send us what you have. And if it's not sufficient, where we're like, Hannah, can you tell what size couch? If it's a tricky, tiny, like Denver Square, traditional, some of those older, like Wash Park type houses, we're
Better
gonna
to see
come
it
in person.
Yeah.
We're going to go.
But if you have the home that sold 2 years, they bought it 2 years ago, there's still
Exactly.
pictures, furniture in there, a floor plan, you can get a pretty good feel.
We're good.
Yeah.
Super easy.
Nice.
So we're like, send us what you got. Send us the address. We'll pull it up. Everything. And then I send over an estimate, and we have our basic package for a vacant stage, which includes, I'm going to forget something, primary bedroom and bath, living room, dining space. So either if you have a formal dining room is typically what that includes. But if you do have bar stools and want that to be your primary dining space or a breakfast nook, it includes one dining space.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just,
And sometimes that's right next to the kitchen. Sometimes it's a formal separate area. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. So we're like, oh, if it's just a breakfast nook and bar stools, we'll count that as one.
Yeah.
And then kitchen and bath.
Yeah, primary bed, bath,
Bathrooms.
kitchen.
Oh,
living room.
Just any
living
other.
room, and then any other. We usually throw in
Bathrooms.
secondary bathrooms.
Yeah, nice.
We have so many shower curtains. It's kind of hilarious.
I bet it would look so funny to just open that and not have any context to what the heck is going on in there, not knowing that it's a stager's storage room, and be like, what the heck
Hoarder
is all
situation.
this? Yeah.
What's happening here?
I literally made
Estate
a
sale.
TikTok video of like a behind the scene with like a little video tour of our storage facility. And I ended it by saying, and yes, we hoard professionally.
Yeah. You have to.
You do.
You got to have so much.
So we present the basic package and what is included, those areas. Everything else is an add-on.
Okay.
So secondary bedrooms, office space, another dining space, basements, outdoor patio stuff. I hate staging outside, but
Yeah, I can
okay.
see how that gets tricky with
It's-
weather and
It's tricky,
it's
especially if it's
hard.
not covered. And
Yeah.
then, you know,
Gosh, it's really hard.
yikes.
We do it
Yeah.
for people that we really like.
Yeah.
We do have favorites. That's
Sure.
that's
You have to.
you.
You got to have the go-tos. Yeah.
And so everything else
Okay.
is listed out and itemized as an add-on. And then what is included is all of the labor costs. So you pay all that up front for both installing the
Okay.
stage and destaging.
Okay, so a flat upfront fee of
That's
us
right.
to set up and us to take down.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. And loading the inventory, and included in that is picking out the inventory and then the actual mental labor load, moving of doing the staging. So those are like staging services and moving services. You pay for all of that up front. So for a typical, let's just say 2,000 square foot, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. If you're going to stage the whole thing, I would say between 2,500 up to like 3,500.
Okay.
Just really depend.
Yeah.
On layout. Are we doing bar stools? Are we what? And also listing price a little bit. Because if we're talking about a $500,000 3-2, it's a very different from a $950,000 3-2.
Totally.
Yeah.
In terms of the inventory and all that stuff that we're going to bring in. So.
And so that 2,500, 3,500 range, that is for staging the whole home.
Whole home.
So what about, how
Just
does
the
that pricing compare if you do just like the basic package? Or is that the basic package?
No.
The basic is the primary bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, dining space.
Living room.
So how does that pricing compare to the full home?
Our staging minimum is $1,775.
Okay.
So if you're going basic, and that's all you want staged, that's the minimum amount that you're going to pay.
Okay.
And then,
regardless of the size of the house, $1,775.
Right.
Yep.
That's right.
Totally.
Because even at $1,775, I'm not going to say we're losing money, but
it's tight.
Certainly, like the margin.
I get it.
Things are thin.
You still have to do this same amount of work. Get everything.
Totally.
Load it. Unload it, and maybe there's slightly less furniture, but it's still the same process, right? Despite how much is in that trailer.
And I like to think that I pay my people very well, because I understand that they're working really hard.
Good employees go a long way.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep staging affordable because again, I believe in it.
Yep.
And also take as best care of my people as possible.
Totally.
So for like a $500,000 3-2, but you're just doing
Bare
basics, $1,775 is kind of the floor for that basic package. But then if we're going up to like a nicer home, but you just still want the basics, I would say the higher end for that would be like $2,300.
Sure. Okay.
Ish. So it's right around that $2,000 mark.
Yeah, that's good. And that's helpful for me as it's really hard for me to mentalize or envision how much that's going to cost for people just depending on different homes. So that's good. Yeah. That's good to know.
And I will have to mention, and this is a total plug, not just for us, but for the company that we use. There's this company called Titus.
Okay.
Where both agents and sellers can wait to pay for staging till closing.
Awesome. I was going to ask about that later.
Yeah.
So you can pay at close when you get all the proceeds.
That's right. Yeah.
Knock it off. You're not even paying out of pocket. Cool.
And the
agents, if the agent pays or if the seller's paying.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Does that add an extra fee on top?
So the fees are very minimal. So I used it to test it out.
Yeah.
Of kind of what the deal was on one of my listings. And I paid for staging in, when did we stage, Fox?
A couple months ago. So I'd say like May or June.
We'll go June.
Okay.
So I paid for staging in June. It was $3,400. We staged the whole house.
Yeah.
And then, and I used Titus. So the staging company got paid right away.
Okay.
And then now we're closing on Monday.
Okay.
And the fee that the title company handles all of it.
Yep.
Titus. It's completely idiot proof.
That's what we all need, right?
We love
a
it.
lot of things in the air, right? So we all need easy processes. The total that I'm paying Titus is $3,600.
Okay. So
$200.
Yeah. To be able to save that, like if your money in your bank account is very tight, but you have a lot of equity in the home,
that's right.
Pay it close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
awesome.
It's super helpful because
really
a lot of times when we're talking to realtors and sellers, the biggest thing is, well, I don't want to stage it. I don't have the cash to pull out of my pocket right now.
Okay. Moving
Let's
stuff.
pay it close.
It
is.
And especially if you are doing the dance of moving out of your house into your new house, you have to have carrying costs.
Yep.
But again, You want to know what's cheaper than paying 2 mortgages? Paying for staging.
Yeah.
To get rid of the old house.
Faster and for more money.
Faster and for more
Exactly.
money.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so we talked about the flat fee range.
Yep.
And then how long do you leave that furniture in the house? How much does it cost on a monthly? What does that look like?
So our typical stage, that initial fee covers your first 30 days of rental.
Okay, nice.
Except right now for condos and some townhomes.
Okay.
We will do it for 60.
So, okay, nice.
Because we understand,
It's a tougher
again,
market for those.
anything attached right now, tough times.
Yes. So for those, sometimes you'll work in like, hey, that flat fee will cover 60 days of our furniture in your house.
And it
Nice.
says all of that
Very
in
cool.
the estimate that we send. It says post 60 days and then gives you the amount, what the monthly rental is after the first 60 days. But typically it's 30. And I'm, again, if we're talking like a $300,000 condo,
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge any extra to keep it there for 60 days. But if it's like an $800,000 to like 1.5 million, I might throw in a couple $100 extra to keep it for 60 days, just so that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So the monthly rental.
Yeah.
Most staging companies that are in business here in Denver, their monthly rental after the first month is between 60 and 70% of your initial.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is very high.
That adds up very quickly.
Very fast.
Wow.
Again,
Yeah.
it wasn't a huge problem.
Yeah. You didn't need it for more than 30 days
Right.
anyways.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
now when you might,
That's right.
that hits pretty hard.
It's hard. And so then we get calls that's like,
Ugh.
get this out before the.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
We have always tried to stay 40% or less.
Okay. Nice.
Because again, we believe in staging. We stage houses sell faster. And I don't want someone seeing our beautiful stage photos online and then going to the house and being like, what?
I'm going to pull up a calculator just so that I'm not good at math in my head. So let's say it's a $2,000 upfront fee. So that would be 40% or less. So $800 for the month or so. Yeah. For the second or third month. Yeah.
I'm on the south side.
Yeah. Probably just depends on, do we have our best furniture in here? Because this is a $2 million home.
That's right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm pretty ardent about the 40% because we stayed a $7 million listing.
Cool.
And
I need to find me one of those. I would take a horror story for a $7 million listing for sure. I could see that going either way. Sometimes money's not worth the mental pain and trauma. So
yeah, that's correct. But with those where all of our best stuff is in there, typically if we have enough lead time before staging, we're out buying and investing for that house specifically. We do that all the time. We have a stage on Monday where we're doing a ton of that. So we've been like shopping for the last week.
Nice.
Which is
it's the fun part of my
That's
job.
the fun part. Getting
to
more
go
stuff, right?
shopping.
Okay, so question about what we just talked about. So that gives me a good feel, and I think viewers a great feel of what pricing looks like. At what point do you recommend staging the full house versus more of the basic? Is that more? I mean, obviously, the more that you can do, the better. But
Not always.
Not always.
Not
What do you
always.
think? So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
because-
So when we do that initial consultation, I like to see Trina and I kind of work together. Sometimes I'll do a walkthrough. Sometimes we'll just look through the pictures. And we're not going to try to get you to do the entire house if we don't feel like it's necessary. It really depends on the house, of course. Sometimes there's those spaces where we're like, oh, you need to stage this because, people are going to wonder what to do with this space or a lot of times an office, with the French doors and that's beautiful. That is an add-on. But we're not going to just tack on add-ons just to get you to do the entire house. We're only going to add those on when we feel like it's necessary and it's really going to benefit that house.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Well, I think that the Littleton house that we just staged that's going live today. I think that's a great example of
Mhm.
where doing the whole house makes sense because the bedroom layout is weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
How can we make this floor plan not feel quirky and weird? Let's
Yeah.
stage everything and show the flow, show
That's
the
right.
purpose. I
So
like
we
that.
did not only an
Good.
office, but also 4 extra bedrooms plus the primary. So we ended up staging 6 rooms plus the entire basement living room area and the bar in the basement.
Nice.
And there was a formal dining room, a breakfast nook, bar stool.
Yeah.
It was
Lots.
massive.
But especially with those older homes in Littleton or Centennial where they were built differently, the floor
right.
plans aren't as fluid as maybe a
Yeah.
Castle Rock or Parker home
That's
that's
right.
cookie cutter. It's a floor
Exactly.
plan that there's 10 other ones out there, right?
That's right.
That makes a lot of sense to me. That's a good point to where, hey, we should probably stage this whole house because we don't want people getting confused of what certain spots are for. We want there to be a fluidity to this
right.
walkthrough.
And so like the basement bedroom, the girls literally went in and they were like, okay, this is going to look like a college age dude room.
It's my favorite thing to do on stages. I make up imaginary
I love that.
buyers.
Yeah.
Backstory.
I love that.
No seller, people there.
Well, yeah, and true.
But appealing to the
who's-
buyers who could live there.
Who's
Yeah.
living there?
Yeah.
And my favorite one was Isabella. We made up.
Is
She's
that a ghost name? Is that a real person?
she's
Not a real person.
No, we made her up.
Yeah.
For a game tree.
Yeah, because we had some more like kid stuff, but I was like, okay, so we're not doing like a little kid room. We're gonna do. She's like 9, okay, and we made this whole
I love that.
backstory and designed this room around Isabella, this made up little girl.
Yeah.
But we did that in this house too, where Trina came and walked through once I was kind of done with the staging at the end of the day, and I had done the bedrooms in the basement, and the one was, kind of gray, like grays and blues. And she was like, oh, this is good. And I was like, yeah, this is like the college age son.
Yeah.
And this is his room when he comes home from college.
Yep.
So she's like, what's his name? I'm like, well, what did we
What's
come up with?
Don't worry.
Garrett. Yeah.
Garrett.
It's Garrett. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the room he stays in when he's home from college.
And then there was another basement bedroom that was a little bit bigger, and we were like, teen girl.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we did that one.
Yeah.
And then we had a like toddler room upstairs,
Yep.
and then a guest room upstairs, and the primary and the office.
Film.
And so in a place like that where you're like, what am I going to do with all these bedrooms?
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know. And it totally emphasizes the functionality of the
Yep.
space, etc.
Tells a story.
Totally.
And the buyers can
made
see and
sense.
feel that story. And
Yes.
that just harps on that psychology, the buyer psychology. What are they going to think? What are they going to feel as they
right.
walk this home? How are we going to appeal to them?
That's right.
Maybe they have a similar family style to that. Maybe they don't, but at least they can follow along
Yeah.
and understand the floor plan through the story that you're telling. Very cool.
Well, and I think the kind of inverse of that is the Karen house, the Head Ranch one that we just did. That house had 4 bedrooms upstairs. We only staged the primary upstairs. Did not make sense to stage the rest of it. We also had some paint color problems in that house. I like teal. I think it's great. I don't think you should have your walls painted teal
Yeah.
when you're selling your house.
Yeah. Neutralize.
That's funny. That's exactly what I thought of when you first said Littleton, because, they were pretty much back to back. They're 2
Yeah.
very recent stages, but very good example of why we would stage the entire thing.
Mhm.
The house in Littleton, it made sense to do that. Whereas this one in Highlands Ranch, the
It makes
bedrooms are the bedrooms,
Mhm.
right? We
There
did
was nothing
we
new
did the
with like-
primary, but the other ones, it was kind of like, it's
Mhm.
not necessary. If you
Yep.
want to, great. We'll
Sure,
make
we'll
it
do it.
work. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
But it's not necessary. It's simple. This is a second. I'm assuming this is probably a second story home.
That's
and
right.
you've
Yep.
got the primary and then bedroom.
That's exactly it.
secondary bathroom that services the 3 bedrooms
right.
and then the master. Right.
That's
so it's
exactly
like
it. Yeah.
It's
right.
what I mean. So many houses have been built that way for 20 years, so
Right.
you can
That's right.
you can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that
right.
makes a lot of sense. That is awesome. I love that. What would you say is maybe your secret sauce that makes your staging, your furniture, your services, just everything different? It's Hannah.
Making me blush. No, I think that the way that Trina runs her business, the way that she said earlier that she likes to make sure that we're well cared for. We have so much fun on every job that we do, even when it's not a fun job. I think it's really the team that we have. We are very picky about the people that we hire.
Very.
And we make sure that, like, yes, we're here to do a job. Yes, we need to be professional and all of those very important things, but it's also our day-to-day life. So we have fun and we can laugh and we make up these stories about these families. And I think that really shows in our stages that we genuinely are having fun and we genuinely care. We're not just throwing a bunch of furniture into a house. That's not what this is.
Nice.
And I think that really it translates.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree 100%. I think and hope my team knows my kind of ethos about this business, which is first, no one's dying here. Everybody take a breath. We can fix anything. We'll figure it out. Take a breath.
I need a little bit more of that in my career.
She tells me once a day.
Yeah.
As like some training. I brought the wrong thing, and
no. It's all
no
good.
one is dying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
We're
Nice.
gonna be fine.
Nice.
Okay.
And like we
Right.
take our jobs very seriously. Absolutely. I don't say that to like
Yeah.
minimize the work,
Mm-hmm.
but also gonna be okay.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
We can fix it.
That's right. We can fix it.
Yeah.
So let's have a like locus of control.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is within my power to fix it. May it be annoying? Yeah, probably. There's gonna be parts of it that suck. Totally get that. But we can fix it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Nice.
We'll figure it out.
It's
So
a
that's
good,
part
good
one.
mindset.
And then part two is I love and appreciate most of our clients, but I also stand by the ethos of we attempt to do no harm, but we also take no shit. Yeah. I am not in the business. I very much am the barrier between, I try to be the barrier between them and the client.
Yeah.
And if you're a jerk, we're not going to work with you. And we're busy. We have a lot of people who really appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
And we're just not a great fit. And that's okay.
That is okay.
But you can take your crappy attitude elsewhere. Good luck.
Someone else will deal with you.
Someone else can deal with you. Someone will take your money.
Yeah.
It's not going to be us.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to have like a standard of the people that you'll work
That's
with.
right.
And I think that reflects in the work that you provide.
That's right.
And the results that they have.
100%.
We're just trying to bring down the stress level.
Yeah.
All around. There's a lot of stress in real estate. There's
There
a lot of
is,
stress in selling a home.
especially right now.
You get it. Yeah.
Like I said, moving suck. I
Mhm.
get it. It's not a fun thing. But
We'll get there. Yeah.
we'll
We'll fix it. We'll make it work. All right, let's get to, let's do some rapid fire questions here, and then we'll get into the Houses of Horrors stage
Okay.
and finish this off. So
Okay.
a few rapid fire questions here, and feel free, one or both of you, knock it out. Number one, does the home need to be fully vacant for you to come in and stage it?
no,
Okay. Why?
because we do occupied stages. Hannah hates them, but we do that.
Sounds harder.
It's way harder.
What does that look
it is
like
very
when you do occupied
difficult.
stages? Because I've never
You want me to
actually
talk
done
about
that.
the occupied.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So occupied stages are hard
Mm-hmm.
because as much as I love your doilies, I think they're so beautiful and I'm sure they have a great story. They have to come for staging.
Mm-hmm.
It's
hard.
I'm sure that couch is really comfortable that you got from American Furniture 15 years ago. I'm sure it's really comfortable.
It's got to go.
Got it.
Yep. So it's a little
Or-
more maybe awkward because you got to
is.
tell them to remove certain pieces so that you can put in yours.
Yeah.
But you'll do it.
It is awkward, but we also are very clear of like, you
Nothing
do
personal.
this.
Yeah.
And this is not personal. This is not me judging your design stuff. And I just remind them, it is our job to make your house appeal to as many buyers as possible.
Yeah.
That's all I'm here to do. I've been in probably nearly 1,000 houses.
Yep.
I've stayed nearly 400 houses. I know how this works.
Yep.
I'm very clear on what needs to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And look, if you don't want to do it,
That's okay. Yeah.
that is a conversation.
But here's what it's
between-
going to take, and here's what it's going to do. It's going to
That's
help your house sell faster and for more money.
That's right.
Done.
And that's a conversation between you and God and your realtor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, staging occupieds is really, really hard.
Yeah. But we'll
I-
do it. That's good to know.
Do it.
We do it.
And it's helpful.
It
and
is.
I
And some people really need it.
And not a lot of staging companies do occupy
They don't.
stages.
Yeah. The other ones that I've worked with in the past
Yeah.
will not.
Yeah.
Period.
I get it.
Yeah.
It goes sideways
Yeah.
I understand.
real fast.
I bet it does. Yeah.
Hannah hates them a lot,
I
like
bet.
with the Fire 7 Sons.
Yeah.
I don't love them. And I will also
Mm-hmm.
price us out of doing them
Mm-hmm.
if when I'm going through with the seller,
Mhm.
I get a bad vibe.
Mhm.
If
You
the
don't want
seller's
it
going to
anyways.
hate everything that we
Yeah.
put in there because they are just in love with their bright
Mhm.
red wall with red art everywhere, there's no point.
It's not worth it.
So I'll try and communicate that to the real
Mhm.
estate agent, separate and apart,
Mm-hmm.
out of earshot of the seller.
Yeah.
But if the real estate agent's like, she said she wants staging, I'll be like, okay, it's going to be very
It's
expensive.
going to be expensive because
Yeah.
we're going to have to pay upfront for the emotional toll this is going to take.
That's exactly. There is
Okay.
a jerk tax.
Yes,
Mhm.
as there should be. Okay, what are some tips and tricks that you utilize to make small or awkward spaces appear bigger and better?
Rugs,
Rugs.
And console tables.
console tables.
Mm.
I love a good console table or like a bench.
And then you go broke with console tables.
We need more. We need more.
Always
We
more
always
console
need
tables.
more console tables.
Always.
They
more.
are a great way to make an awkward hallway or weird
Yeah.
little nook.
Yeah.
Put a bench there, put a console table there, put a little bit of art in there. And now
Nice.
typically, usually in most cases, now it makes sense.
Nice.
Now it's not so awkward. It's not so terrifying.
Yeah. That's actually really cool. I
Yeah.
love and it all comes down to the whole psychology of the room and how you can make that just look bigger and better. I like that.
I mean, it would be very funny to see us kind of behind the scenes of when it's sort of like comedians riffing
Yeah.
is the best analogy I have.
Yeah.
So when we walk into a space that's tricksy,
Uh-huh.
as we like to say, we'll both just stand there for a hot minute and
Yeah.
be like, okay. Bow. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, oh, what about this? And I'll be like,
that is fascinating.
Yes, and
it literally is. One of my friends called it when I go into my beautiful mind mode, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
because I can see it.
Uh-huh.
And Hannah and I sort of share a brain in that way,
yeah.
where if it's really tricky and she's like, I've been looking at this for 3 hours. I cannot
Mhm.
figure this out. Tell me what to do. I'll walk in and I'll go,
Mhm.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Shift this like 2 inches. And
Yeah,
she's
nice.
like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. That
I bet
happens.
those riffs do get quite entertaining.
It's
You gotta next
spend
time you
like-
gotta film them and put them on TikTok.
I know we
She really
should. We really need to put them on our TikTok. It's true.
Does seasonality ever come into play with the type of furniture you put in? Like it's
No.
winter versus summer, doesn't matter.
No.
No, 'cause I mean, hopefully,
Hopefully they sell fast.
right.
Mhm.
But you just never know. So, like, right now, we're going into fall.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's kind of, I'm a big fan of like neutrals and not like neutrals, but very like earthy colors.
Well,
That's-
greens and blues.
We love it. We love it. But we're not gonna really hardcore lean into like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving or Halloween,
Mhm.
right? A Halloween that kind of
Yeah, it's not
walks the
gonna
line,
vibe, yeah.
right? And we need to appeal to as many people as possible.
Mhm.
But seasonality, we want it to just blend
Yep.
No matter what the time of year.
Yeah, smart.
It really just depends on the house.
Yeah.
Again, wall
It's more
colors
house
and
dependent, not time of year dependent.
100%.
We're going to do this to the potential demographic of buyers. The buyers are out there for this type of house, and the size and the style and the neighborhood and the city. And okay.
I had a friend
That's more
actually
important.
ask me that if we ever do like seasonal decor, and I'm nope.
Good to know.
Nope.
Good to know.
Because like, God forbid the house stays on the market for a few months. Well, we're not going to go back and change it out. And now we have, 4th of July summery stuff in there, and it's October.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, you don't want to do something kind of Christmassy colored, and
Exactly.
you have people that don't.
Yeah.
Do
It's
that holiday.
just like when I walk into any house for an occupied stage and they have like an entire wall of crosses. I am
Gotta go.
very good at being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. I think we should take them down so we can bring in some color.
Like,
Again, we just want to appeal to some people's fun. Like I'm very good at being able to deliver that mess in a way where people don't take offense.
nice.
Yeah.
And that's important because
And if they do take offense, they're probably not our client.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's hard. I get it. People love their stuff, and
get
people are
it.
passionate about what they're passionate about. But
get
at the end of the day, we're trying to sell your house. We're trying to get you money.
That's right.
And some things we've got to just take it down.
Yeah.
And we got to neutralize.
Pre-packing. That's
Yeah.
also how I sell it.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pack this anyways. Let's pack it now.
Right. Let's do it now.
Get started.
Nice. What are the most common mistakes you see a seller make? Not safe. Yeah. You mentioned paint a few times. It sounds like paint can really disrupt your job and what you're trying to do.
So something that we do offer more on the design side is coming into a home and consulting on design pre-sale. So we've done it a few times since I've been in the company. It's been fun to watch. It adds to that before and after kind of effect where we know we're going to put up some fresh paint, maybe some new floors, maybe, light fixtures, things like that are going to go a long way.
I mean, talking about ROI.
Yeah. Little simple things. You don't even have to get the most expensive stuff.
Yeah.
We prefer that you don't, but just sometimes makeup on a pig. But it
as long as
feels
that pig sells, we don't care what kind of makeup it has.
no, and
Yeah.
she does look prettier.
Yeah.
And she looked much better.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I think again, it goes back to sort of where we started the conversation in the emotionality of homes. I've said a lot of what my ethoses are. My biggest one, and the reason why I got into this business, is actually an Oprah-ism, because I am a child of the 90s, and so Oprah was like my mom. She always says that your home should rise up to meet you. It does not matter what your home is. If it's an apartment, if it's a condo, if it is a tiny little 800 square foot house, your home should be a place that rises up to meet you, to where when you go into it, it feels good, whatever that means to you. And so I understand that if you live in your home and you feel like your home does rise up to meet you, changing it feels real bad. And it's emotionally heavy. And so my job is to kind of bring them out of that mindset and have them look toward the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest mistake that sellers and sellers agents make is not recognizing that, speaking to that, and letting the seller still stick in their, this is my house mentality. And so I think staging and really good photography is negotiable.
Photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do offer, we have a professional real estate photographer on staff.
Nice.
And so for like 4 more days, people who booked staging in September got free Zillow drone, full-on photo shoots, floor plans.
That's a lot of value.
A lot of value.
That's a lot of value. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Yeah, and
that's
he's
awesome.
phenomenal. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, that is awesome. All right. Well, that wraps up kind of the meat of the podcast. We've talked about a lot of super valuable staging content here. So let's go ahead and just get into the Houses of Horrors segment where we talk about some of our nightmare experiences. And I'll go ahead and kick it off. The one that I have in mind was actually what kind of led me to first discover you and what you do and your business here. And that's because I had a couple of stagers that I used previously. And I had a seller in particular that I'd sent those stagers to, and they'd given bids and sent estimates and shown examples of the furniture. And this is one of those types of people, one of those types of sellers who doesn't have any background in staging or design or anything, and feels that they have a significant amount of experience or expertise in it despite having none. So they were all rejected and thrown away, and I would send pictures. Hey, how about this stager? Here's an example of how they could do that. Oh no, that looks terrible. It's like, well, does it look terrible? Like, and first, why does it matter? You're living not even in the state or in the house anymore. This is just the professional getting the house sold. Again, the theme here is let the professionals do their thing. So anyways, the good news is that they actually went and sent me a few staging companies, and one was you guys. And so I called you, got you in there, and then you got the quote and everything, and then put it together and sent over the contract, got it signed, and you came out and staged it. And not even 24 hours later, I'm getting called with someone yelling on the phone saying, hey, this is not done right. That second bedroom was supposed to be a bedroom, not an office. And I was like, well, let me see what happened, what went wrong here. Maybe they just mixed it up. No. Contract was very, I mean, it could not have been clearer. Right there in bold letters, bullet pointed, whatever. Second bedroom will be an office. And again, who's the professional here? I'm not the professional stager. Neither are any of my sellers. It's the professional stagers. Oftentimes what I learned after is when it's only a 2-bedroom house, it's good to show a bedroom and an office to show the diversity that the home could have, especially in areas like this one in the middle of Denver where it's probably not that many people living in the house. So anyways, there was a big fit about it, and it turned into be a really big deal. And I had to go, and not only did I have to go and get you back out there to change it, which cost me money, but also I had to get new photos and redo all of that. And it ended up being a very, very big deal. And the funny part is later, again, kind of back to that idea of you kind of go the extra mile for people who go the extra mile for you, and you do extra for them. And they'd asked if I would clean up their dog poop that they had left throughout the whole winter. And they had a big dog. And so they had asked if, because I recommended it. And they're like, hey, can you just do it? And I was like, nope. No. But for other people, I probably would have, the people that had, but not someone who I just had to spend hundreds of dollars extra because they didn't read the contract. Right. So that was mine. It ended up being a very stressful one, but it worked out. We got it to the closing table. The staging did an incredible job. The photos turned out great, and it worked out. But during, it was quite stressful.
Yeah. So. You would not stand over the shoulder of a plumber and tell them how to do.
Right. Why is it any different?
100%.
Yeah. 100%. All right, let's hear this cat pee one.
Oh, okay. We've run into the most. The most
cat pee.
Most cat pee.
Well, okay. We have a realtor. We love her. We work with her all the time. She had this house that had contractors. It needed a little bit of work done. It needed some zhuzhing before. And our team gets a text from Trina. Hey guys, I know this was August, so we were a little bit slower with staging.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if anyone has any extra time, we are going to help kind of zhuzh this house up before we stage it. When I walk into this house, the odor, just the pungency hit me, smacked me in the face. among the millions of other things that
Had you been in it yet by this point? Okay, so you knew.
I felt like I was set up.
Yeah. I was gonna say this sounds like a setup.
Yeah. But specifically, there were a couple things throughout those like few weeks that we were in and out of that place. We did a lot.
Yeah.
We were tiling, we were painting, we were
Changed every switch, every light fixture.
Wow.
yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I had gone into the basement was finished,
Yeah.
right? So there was carpet and there were
Sure.
walls. There were a few bedrooms down there, and a bathroom.
Yeah.
So our plan was to tile the shower
Yeah.
in the basement bathroom. So I go down there and I'm like, it's a little stinky in here. Like there's
Yeah.
something wrong with the plumbing or something.
Oh, no.
This is really gross. I'm gonna warn you.
No, this is
that-
what this section's
No,
about.
like this is
That's what we're here for, to
absolutely
talk about the worst.
horrible. So I'm in the bathroom. I have a mask on, right? Because
Sure.
it's already disgusting, and I'm
pungent.
trying to clean it out. It's pungent. And one of our other guys comes in and he's like, "Wow, it really stinks in here." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like there must be something wrong." And he's like, "No, like bad."
Mm,
And he opens the toilet,
mm,
and there is
Keep in mind the water is off.
the water is off.
Mm.
Yes, so they're working on some plumbing. Not us. We don't do
Mm.
plumbing and electrical, not that stuff. But the water is off, and so he opens the toilet, and there is a black trash bag
mm.
in the toilet. And then it has like a cleaning rag on top of it. So I don't want to get too graphic, but you
There was
can
giant poop
No.
in the bag though,
in the
and then
Oh
and
my
then a
gosh.
dirty rag on top of it.
Ah.
And that was at that point I was like, I am done for the day. I need to leave right now. And I might not ever come back to this
Yeah.
house ever again.
Oh dear.
I did.
People live like that though.
But I was like, what is happening here?
Wow.
That was that was horrifying.
Did the house sell?
I did.
Still not sold? Ooh, maybe they should make it not smell so bad.
Maybe.
it's
That would-
smell.
That would probably
Yeah,
be the
we
trick.
got the ionizers in there.
Ugh.
That's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
Ionizers.
Yep.
We ran them overnight.
I've used those.
But
Dang, Still. Ugh,
yeah.
That's nasty.
that was.
Are you worried about other cats still in the house? Are you worried about your furniture getting yucked up? Or having
Many
to.
of our furniture will be
Yeah.
of sorts. Smell.
I was going to say it could stick. Ugh.
That's happened before.
Yep. I bet. Yuck.
Yeah, where someone very clearly smoked in and around, or they were just
Yeah.
like horrific
Oh.
smoker, and I had to throw
And it
out
sticks.
so much stuff, and then
Oh.
was like furious at me. Saying, I can't believe you're gonna charge. And keep in mind, I threw out
No.
much more than $500 worth of furniture.
Mm-hmm.
It was furniture that had to go into the dumpster because the smell was just horrific. And anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
HO was pissed at me. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
that's not a me problem.
yeah. Jeez. Brutal. All right. Let's hear about this tire one. This tire story that you got.
Okay. So it actually coincides with one of the more wild stages. So we have a very large truck with a very large trailer
Mm.
to stage homes. And we had a stage up in like North Wheat Ridge. And when I had gone up there to do the walkthrough, my face was this face. Very confused as to what was happening in this house. They had orange hardwood floors, but then they had like the most traditional dining table you've ever seen, like one of those cherry wood, like
Yeah.
beautiful traditional dining table next to a formal sitting area that looked like it was from like 1980s Miami Vice with like white chairs and mirrored tables. And I was like, there's so
A lot of things
I was like,
going on here.
okay, this is weird, but like, all right. Okay. And then in the in the kitchen, they had other super modern stuff. And then they had one of those giant Costco sofas in the living room. And then in the office, they had a desk that was bigger than this and an office like half the size. The amount of styles in this house were crazy. And I should have just said, not going to be a fit for us.
Yeah, can't do this.
Can't do it. I should have just said,
Yeah.
unless they're going to fully move out.
Yeah.
So we can just blank slate stage it. This is, I didn't do that and I should have. So we go up there and stage it. And like, this was one of the hardest occupied stages I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so hard. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to bring.
Yeah.
There was literally a mirrored bed. The headboard
Wow.
next to like the most traditional dresser and furniture you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
So you're like, there's no identity in this house. I don't understand what to do. Anyway, so we're all the way up there. I have my car and I'm driving back to pick up a kiddo from an activity. It's like 6:30 at night. And my crew has the truck and trailer and they're driving on 470 around I-25 back to our storage facility. I'm about 25 minutes down the road and I get a call that's like, Trina, we're stopped on the side of the freeway. Two of the trailer tires blew out. And I was like, is everybody safe? And they were like, yes. And I said, okay. So I turn around. I'm calling my husband and my au pair. And I'm like, I can't figure her up. I got to go rescue the truck and trailer.
Oh, jeez.
And so as I pull up behind the truck and trailer, I get a phone call from the agent. And he is an a-hole. He's like, they're not happy.
Oh, this no. You're like, not now.
I'm not happy either, honestly. I'll tell you.
Well, I would like to scream into the void. So he was so rude. And he was like literally almost like what that other jerk said to you when he was like, did you just throw whatever furniture? And I was like,
oh dear.
First of all, that's incredibly effective.
Yeah.
Second of all,
the house sucks.
The house does. I never should have done that. And I was like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. Oh, maybe, somehow, if I can figure out how.
My trailer's on the side of the road right now.
So I then sprint over to Walmart to get, hopefully, a spare tire to put on the trailer. It's 20 minutes away. I come back, it's the wrong size.
No.
I go back to Walmart. I've jacked up the trailer. I go back to Walmart again and I'm like near tears. I'm like going to lose my mind. I'm like near tears. I'm like abandoned all. Agent. And the freaking agent calls me again to say they're really unhappy.
What do you want me to do? We've already talked about this.
It was like, I will not dox him. But I was like, sir, I hear you. I'm literally in the middle of a car emergency with the truck and trailer with like 5 other people that also need to get home. So I will talk to you tomorrow.
Yep.
And I literally said, please do not call me.
Yeah.
The rest of the night. I will talk to you tomorrow. We figure it out. We like literally go 30 miles an hour on E470. But I'm like grandma driving behind them. It was ridiculous. So anyway,
awful.
Fast forward to the next morning.
Yeah.
And he goes, they're really unhappy for now the 3rd time.
We get it. I got that. I gathered that.
I said, I understand. We can be back there by 2:00 today. And he goes, oh, that won't work. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, they don't want you there unless I'm there. And I said, you know what? I think we're just going to come pick up our stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And we did.
Picked it up.
Picked it all up. Said, bye.
Yeah.
And then when I sent him the labor bill, he refused to pay it.
Oh my God.
That's all I charged him was like, and I cut it in half also.
Oh, wow. Never paid it.
And never paid it. So that was fun.
It's so awful all around. which is how I'm supposed to feel in this segment. Is people,
Right. Yeah.
and hopefully people get joy in how we feel.
That's right.
Oh, we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, that's right. Now you
And
can laugh
nice.
about it.
That's
That's awful.
Yeah.
But shake that one off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. This has been a blast.
Thank you
to
for
talk
having
about it.
us.
And super valuable. I mean, this
Yeah.
is something that
Right.
sellers can watch and see, okay, I've always been on the fence to stage it. Now they will. You know, there's so much
Yeah.
value to it. Thank you for coming. And I actually have a couple of homes to send your way that are gearing up to list here soon. So
I mean,
We'll
can
pick
we
them
plug
up.
where to find us?
yeah.
Can we plug where to find
Oh,
us?
yes. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So on Instagram, our staging is at Sterling Staging, all one word. Our website is sterlingstagingdesign.com. And we are currently sort of shifting more of our interior design focus under the House of Bennett's brand. And so you can check us out there as well. And we are also on TikTok primarily under House of Bennett's. And then Hannah's TikTok, which is hysterical, and you should follow her.
I think it's Hannah Sterling Interiors.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
She did do the Hamilton TikTok.
I did.
It was
Nice.
the best thing I've seen all year.
That's
So,
nice.
Anyway,
We will have all of the links and things in the descriptions
Perfect.
as well, and I'll send you all the content from this podcast so you can post it too.
Awesome.
So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Lena.
Yeah, thanks for having
This
us.
was-
it was fun. We'll catch you on the next one when we do just a Houses of Horrors.
Oh,
podcast
we
sometime.
got endless.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And hi.